Allô, Nissan? Hey, grosse tempête, hein?
Hey, Karine, oui, je sais, les vilains bonhommes de neige sont de retour.
Mais avec le Nissan Rogue à traction intégrale, c'est pas stressant.
Exact, il est conçu et testé pour nos hivers. Oh, Karine, il y a un bonhomme dans le Rogue.
Ah, c'est correct. J'ai allumé les sièges chauffants.
Ah, bien joué, Karine. Maîtrisez toutes les conditions. Louez le Rogue S 2026 à partir de 0,4% jusqu'à 36 mois, incluant une réduction fidélité de 0,5% pour les clients Nissan admissibles. Jusqu'au 2 mars, sur approbation de crédit, les conditions s'appliquent. Détails chez Nissan.
Where's your car right now? Have you checked? Ladies and gentlemen, if you think your car is safe in your driveway, think again. Auto thefts in Canada on the rise. And of course, you're suffering the consequences. Drivers are suffering the consequences. But thanks to some tracking system, some people have been able to recover their cars. But you know what? More often than not, where do those cars end up? They end up in a shipping container and shipped off to a foreign land, never to be found again. In the past year, there were over, get this, 80,000 vehicle thefts across Canada. The thefts resulted in 5,000 charges, by the way. So there are some bad guys going away. Now many are calling on the car companies to find better ways to secure their vehicles. Good question, right? Shouldn't the technology exist? Let's find out more. Petrina Gentile is with us, automotive journalist extraordinaire. Petrina, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Listen, it's not just me interested in this story, right? I know you write for the Globe and Mail, but this story on auto thefts got premier treatment in the print edition in the front section because it affects so many Canadians. Can you start off, Petrina? Because I'm reading your story. You start off with the story of a poor woman in a Toyota Highlander, and I think it's just a great way to start off this segment as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's heartbreaking. This woman bought her second Highlander and just took possession of it. About 3 weeks afterwards, it was stolen right from her driveway in Toronto. And she ended up having, she had an app that she could track it and see where it was, and contacted police, and they tracked it down in Brampton, which is just west of Toronto. And it was her Highlander, 7 other Highlanders, some Lexus SUVs, and other vehicles there that were going to be shipped off overseas. And her car, she got it back, but it was badly damaged, and it had to have extensive repairs. And she just got it back in January after this happened, in early November. And this is the second time she's been hit. She was hit during the pandemic as well, where her vehicle was also stolen, ended up getting it back. No one was charged with it. So it's very frustrating for a lot of Canadians. And she says, you know what, if this happens again, if another vehicle goes, I am not going to go back and buy another Highlander. I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
It's frustrating because these are brands people love, but they're also vehicles that are in high demand in other parts of the world.
Okay, so Petrina, here's the thing. This, I want to get to maybe the subject of blame on this, right? Mm-hmm. So I have a MacBook in front of me, okay, laptop. And let's say someone steals it. Let's say and I leave it in a coffee shop. I turn my back, it gets stolen, right? Mm-hmm. Immediately I can open up my phone and I can mark it as stolen, and I can mark it and I can lock the device, and no one can ever use that laptop again. You know what I mean? It's locked and it's encrypted and it's donezo. Same thing for smartphones, by the way. If you depending on what smartphone you have, but if in the case of the iPhone, let's say you lose your iPhone, 2 buttons, that iPhone is now a brick, okay? And I don't understand how a $50,000 piece of technology on wheels doesn't have that same type of tech. Does any blame go now to car manufacturers for making it too easy to steal?
You know what? Some people are saying that, and a lot of critics have actually come out and said, you know what? There isn't an incentive for manufacturers to do anything about it because, in a sense, they're kind of, inadvertently profiting from it because you have a brand that consumers buy. Typically, if the vehicle is stolen, they're going to go back to that same dealer, back to the same manufacturer, and buy the same exact vehicle. So, some people are saying, well, they're profiting from this because now they're actually not selling one vehicle, but 2 vehicles. So what's the incentive there? But there needs to be more done. And you have to keep in mind, though, these criminals are 5 steps ahead of the manufacturers. Mm-hmm. So it's like a catch-up that they have to do because they're using, high-tech tools to steal these vehicles, especially newer vehicles that have push-button starts. They're very easy to access. reprogramming key fobs and doing those relay attacks where they have an antenna and they steal the signal and take your car like that. So this is something that is very easy for them to do, and they're making a lot of money doing this because there isn't a lot of investment that they're putting into it, right? Other than stealing the car and getting it on a shipping container, there's big profits to be made. And if they're caught, this falls under property crime. So it's not like drug smuggling where it's stiffer penalties. These are much leaner penalties as well. So there's other factors at blame here that really need to take responsibility for all of this.
Petrina, I'm just wondering, because there is so much competition in cars, right? There's so many companies making cars. Why doesn't just one of them say, our cars, you cannot steal them? Well, our cars, you can steal them maybe you can put them on, but you know what? Our cars, we've got a guarantee. Our cars are security locked or software locked. Is there anyone doing it differently, or is this just the whole industry here, just doing nothing so that a car can be stolen and you can't do anything about it?
Yeah, it's pretty much, nothing really can be done about it, which is unfortunate. There are some mechanics that I spoke to said you can get your mechanic to install a kill switch in the vehicle that will, basically if they try to break in, they can't move that vehicle. But there are implications to that. So if you bring that vehicle afterwards into the mechanics, like into the dealer and say, you know what, I'm having electrical issues, chances are they're going to blame that device that you've added to it, and it's going to make your warranty null and void. So, you have all these different issues that are coming up with it, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. Are
there any brands that are particularly hard hit on that front?
There are a lot of brands. I mean, there's a top 10 list of vehicles that come out every single year, and Honda CR-V, Lexus RX, the Ford F-150, a Ram 1500. These are popular. Pickup trucks are popular. Honda Civic's on that list. The Jeep Grand Cherokee, Honda Accord, Toyota RAV4. These are, on the top 10 list in Canada for vehicles that are being stolen.
Petrina, I have a couple of listeners here sending me text messages saying, well, Teslas can't be stolen like that. And then new Mercedes cars, they have face recognition in the dashboard. I don't know if that's a promised feature, if that's actually happening, where you can't steal the car. So there are some high-tech options that can limit some theft, right?
Yes, Tesla is probably at the forefront of it, again, in terms of making it more difficult to steal those vehicles. Mercedes, the face recognition is something that's going to come out in future vehicles. That's more in, the concept vehicles we're seeing, and hopefully that is going to be something that will come along down the road more, so we do see stuff to protect.
Face ID in the car, I like that, if it can stop a car from being stolen. Okay, Petrina, listen, before I let you go, I want to talk about Berlin, because you took a super-duper secretive trip, as you do in your fantastic lifestyle, to Berlin, and you teased us, because you said, I'm going to Berlin, it's not a German car that I'm going to see. What did you end up seeing? I
ended up seeing the all-new 2024 Hyundai Kona. So this is their subcompact SUV. They have it in gasoline, electric, and a high-performance N-line model. It's grown bigger and has more technology, but Canada doesn't get the hybrid. I was kind of hoping for the hybrid version. Other markets get it like Europe, but Hyundai wants to focus on electric and ICE vehicles for the North American market for the time being. So this is what we're going to see. So it's either the gas or the electric. No halvesies here. All or nothing. Exactly. Interesting. And what were your impressions? Very nice styling. The styling is gorgeous on it. Has this really nice light detailing in the front. It's horizontal that goes right around. Bigger inside, more technology, parking features where, it can kind of park by itself, move out of a spot and into a spot remotely. So lots of technology and a nice look on it. Very distinct compared to some other electric vehicles on the market. Yeah. We don't know the price yet, but we'll have more details at the New York Auto Show next month. They're going to do their North American debut, so we should have more details on pricing by that time as well. I like what Hyundai's been doing on styling and on the EV front, whether it's the Ioniq or even some of the stuff that they sell as gas cars, the Kona and the Nero and those vehicles. I like their styling. I think they're onto something. They are, definitely. Petrina, we got to leave it there. Come back real soon. Sounds good. Thank you. Petrina Gentile, automotive journalist. You can read her words in the Globe and Mail, among other places, so do go check that out. Her latest piece in the Globe and Mail about car theft is a real eye-opener.